See, I appreciate that from him, and maybe he's saying the right thing there, and who knows what he believes behind the scenes. But, the hitting coach for me, and I know as a pitcher you didn't deal with him much, but, it's always the hardest thing for me to evaluate because when a team is crushing, we don't really hear about the hitting coach. But when a team's struggling offensively, it's like, get this bum out of here. Who's this guy? He doesn't know anything about it. So their impact for me is hard to measure, good or bad. And you've been around it, so you tell me, how much do you put on a hitting coach, whether a team's succeeding or whether they're flailing?
It's, first of all, extremely impossible to measure, right? Except for what relationship does he have with these players. And what I mean by that is, like, from a pitcher standpoint, right? So I'll speak from a pitcher standpoint. And I've seen it with hitting coaches. I've had hitting coaches get fired. You're like, what, really? Because guys are just straight up struggling. But in this era, it's a little bit different to when I played. In this era, it's just information, and then more information, overload. You really have to know with, Dylan Moore, right? I'll use him as an example. All right, yeah, he's struggling. Okay. You have to sort of, go back and forth as far as how much information is good and what's the most digestible information for him to take in, to trust when the seconds before the guy's about to throw the pitch. It's really tough. And a lot of that, you're sitting there, and these guys are stressed, man. I know about these coaches where they get stressed out, they lose sleep. If you're a pitching coach and your starting pitchers just are not up to, not performing the way they're supposed to, man, these guys are stressed out because obviously their job's on the line, and it's a direct reflection on them. But I love what Manny Machado said. Look, he said it's on them. They give us all the information. We have to go and execute. We have to go do our thing. And the other element to this as well, I talked about the relationship with the coach and the player, right? Like a hitting coach or a manager or a veteran player, everything else. When you walk into an environment in a clubhouse, and this is this standard setter that, back to what Jerry DiPoto said last week on the morning show. When you walk into a clubhouse and you have that feeling of, we are just going to get overwhelmed today. Man, I'm looking around and no one's catching up to Garrett Cole throwing 98. No one's catching that. If we get down early, we're screwed. We're not going to score. If you walk into that kind of looking through that lens in that clubhouse, no matter how nice the pool table is and the sauna and everything, all the other stuff in there, it's not a good place to be. And that's something that you cannot measure at all. And that's where that's where the relationships come. Where's your safety? Where's your place you can go and talk to your hitting coach and everything start to make sense and you can trust and it's looking up as you go out to that 4 at-bats that night. It can be so tough, man, to measure that. But it comes down to the hitters 100%. Unless you've just got some hitting coach in there who's just lazy doing nothing. But it's not the case, man. These guys are getting here super early, maybe too much. Maybe they're doing too much information. Who knows? Yeah, and I mean, it's amazing. We talk about back in your day. It wasn't that long ago that you played, but it is amazing how much things have changed. Did they have the sports psychologist that every team seems to have? Was that around when you were playing? Yeah, I had some good versions of it and some just. And I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus here, but there was some stuff where, and this is what I'm talking about, man. And it's a classic example. Right, when you have a mental skills coach is the name for it now, right? Yeah. Where if they're hanging out in the dugout and just being annoying, right, and they're just saying the most cliche stuff, and they're talking out of term. When you hear someone talk about, baseball, for example, I'm using baseball as an example. Someone's talking about baseball when they actually haven't played at this level, and they're talking about, they're sitting there talking about, oh, well, this is what he's trying to do, and this and that. I'm sitting there going, but how, you've never played, and that's not. I'm not going to trust what you're saying. We had this one guy, right? I'm not even going to tell you the team or anything like that. This guy wanted to be in full uni. Right, he's never played baseball before. He goes, "Oh, I want a uniform because I'm in the dugout." We're like, "Come on, bro! Like, step number one. If there's no need or rule for you to have a uniform on, just don't wear it. Just don't wear it, right? Yeah. There's no need for you to be. You're not going to go coach first base. And then the way he would talk to you like he's done it before. For example, he goes, "Hey man, listen, when it starts getting loud and you walk behind the mound, this is what you need to do. You got to just release the hose, all that pressure, let all that." I'm like, dude, I've got 20 seconds to make one of the biggest pitches of my life, and the dude's 6'5" in the box making $25 million, and you want me to sit there and talk about letting the pressure of the hose? Come on, that kind of stuff is just absolute nonsense. But on the flip side, I've had some guys, man, who are just so good. It's just little things they say, little things. I'm like, yeah, I feel like an absolute beast right now. Yeah, you know what I mean? So there's plenty of them. There's good ones, bad ones. Man, trust me, they come in all shapes and sizes. That's for sure.
Just a guy who's out there being annoying. He wants to wear a uniform.
Man,
just let the hose go. Oh, that's so good. I love. You're
just straight out of the motivational 101 textbook. Like, come on, man, believe in yourself. Yeah,
never give up, Ryan. Never give up. Trust yourself.